Today we're exploring one of the most fascinating and symbolic passages in the entire Bible, Revelation 1-1:6. The vision of the woman clothed with the sun and the great red dragon, a woman about to give birth, a massive dragon waiting to devour her child, a war that breaks out in heaven itself. Here's what you need to know up front. Revelation 12 is not literal. John isn't describing space dragons. He's showing us the invisible spiritual war through symbolic imagery. Think of it like this. As the Matrix showed you the code behind reality, Revelation 12 shows you the spiritual forces behind history. The woman clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, 12 stars on her head. Who is she? Here's where it gets interesting. She's actually 3 people at once. 1. Israel. The 12 stars equals 12 tribes. The Messiah came through the Jewish people. 2. Mary. She literally gave birth to Jesus. 3. The church. All believers throughout history. Most people try to pick one. But here's the truth. Biblical prophecy works in layers. She's all 3 simultaneously. The woman represents God's faithful people bringing the Messiah into the world. The enormous red dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns. Who is he? Revelation tells us directly in verse 9. That ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan. But check out these details. 7 heads equals global counterfeit authority. 10 horns equals worldly military power. Red equals violence and bloodshed. This isn't just Satan, it's every evil empire, every demonic system, every force of darkness throughout history. And wait until you see what happens when this dragon goes to war. The child who will rule all nations with a rod of iron. This one's clear. The child is Jesus Christ. Rod of iron comes straight from Psalm to the messianic prophecy and caught up to God's throne. That's the resurrection and ascension. The dragon tries to devour the child the moment he's born. Herod's massacre, the temptation, the crucifixion. But the child survives. He's taken to heaven, the dragon fails. And that's when everything changes. Verses 7-9, Michael and his angels versus the dragon and his angel. Satan loses. He's thrown down to earth. But here's what most people miss. This isn't describing some ancient rebellion in the past. This is the spiritual reality of the cross. Before Jesus died and rose again, Satan was the accuser, constantly pointing out humanity's sins before God's throne, demanding judgment. But when Christ won, Satan's accusations lost their power. Romans 8:1. There is now no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus. Satan was cast out. Defeated, done. But verse 12 says something terrifying. He is filled with fury because he knows his time is short. After the child is taken to heaven, the woman flees into the wilderness. She's protected there for 1,260 days. This number appears throughout Revelation. It represents a specific period of tribulation and divine protection. This could mean early Christians fleeing Roman persecution, Israel's miraculous survival through history, future end times tribulation, or the spiritual protection believers have right now. Here's the promise. God always protects his people even in the darkest wilderness. The chapter ends with this line. The dragon was enraged at the woman and went off to wage war against the rest of her offspring. Who's the rest of her offspring? Verse 17 tells us, those who keep God's commands and hold fast their testimony about Jesus. That's you. That's me. Satan couldn't stop Christ. He couldn't destroy the church. So now he's targeting individual believers one by one. Every doubt you face, every temptation, every attack on your faith, every moment you feel spiritually exhausted. That's this war. The dragon is still enraged. You're in his crosshairs. But here's what you need to understand. The war is already won. Let me show you the full story in 60 seconds to 1. God brings the Messiah into the world through his faithful people. 2. Satan tries desperately to stop him and fails at every turn. 3. Jesus wins the ultimate victory through death, resurrection, and Ascension. Point 4. Satan is defeated in heaven, cast out, stripped of his power to accuse. 5. But the war continues on earth. Satan attacks believers with everything he has left. 6. God protects his people through every trial. This isn't ancient history. This isn't just future prophecy. This is the spiritual reality you're living in right now. Direct address: you're not paranoid. There really is a dragon. And he really is furious. But you're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from victory. Christ already won. Your enemy is already defeated. He's just a mortally wounded animal lashing out before the end. The question isn't whether you'll win. The question is, will you hold fast until the end? But check out these details. If this opened your eyes to the spiritual battle, do 2 things. 1. Hit that subscribe button. I'm breaking down the entire book of Revelation symbol by symbol. TWO, drop a comment. Which symbol hit you hardest? The woman, the dragon, the war in heaven. The dragon wants you isolated and defeated, but you just learned the truth. You're protected. You're fighting from victory. And your enemy's time is running out. Hold fast. I'll see you in the next one.